Now I have done all the experiments of preaching Gita to the ones who are not interested, and I have seen the results myself. So, as I used to say in my previous birth as Osho, that unless and until you reach the highest peak of something, you won't realize the negative effects of it. Because I have slept in my car in the morning at my wife's workplace, and she slept in her car at my workplace in the night, and that's how we spent the whole week. Also, I would like to mention that it's not that I don't have money, but I don't feel like I am worthy of spending that much money on myself for no reason. With this, I also remember one of my Gujarati friends mentioning that why did you move from your old place? Why couldn't you give $300 more to your landlord? Did you not understood Gita? Bro, come on. Gita is not about money, and plus the other reason I don't consider my landlord worthy of getting that much money. So it's also my fault if I pay him more and he could misuse that money. Also, I would say I enjoyed sleeping there in the car, and it was more peaceful than the rented place because I found my wife's workplace more quiet and suitable to sleep for a night worker in the morning. But for long term, it's not worth it. I mean, a bed is a bed where you can take turns while sleeping. Now, listen, it's another interesting fact that all of this is just a game, not to be seriously involved in, because I know that only and only Gita is true. So let's continue with Gita. Then we can't decide the phenomenon of becoming friend and enemy. That phenomena we don't understand. Then we impose on the person that a mistake has happened to him. Krishna is telling Arjuna that you see through and through, see completely, and one who sees all this becomes knowledgeable, and cold and heat, happiness and sorrow no longer pain the wise man. But do not understand this to mean that a knowledgeable person does not know the difference between cold and hot. There has been such misconception. That's why I say such a misconception has occurred. Then he did not become knowledgeable. He became inanimate. If the sensitivity dies, he may not even notice. So many dull witted people fall into the illusion of being knowledgeable because they do not know the difference between cold and hot. You won't know with a little practice. There is no difficulty in this. Remember, a wise man does not feel pain from cold and heat, from happiness and sorrow. There is no choice in happiness and sorrow. There is no choice, there is choicelessness. This does not mean that it is not visible. This does not mean that if a knowledgeable person is pricked with a needle, he will not know. This does not mean that if you put flowers around the neck of a knowledgeable person, there will be no fragrance, and if you throw a foul smell, there will be no smell. No, both fragrance and bad smell will come, maybe more than you. His sensitivity will be more than yours. His sensitivity will be higher because he will be more conscious of existence, will be more aware of the moment. His feelings will be more intense than yours, but he knows that fragrance and bad smell are two extremes of the smell. If you ever pass by a factory where fragrance is made, you will know actually the bad smell itself is turned into fragrance. Fertilizer is added with the flower to make them smell fragrant. Fragrance and bad smell are two extremes of the smell. If a smell seems pleasant, it is known as fragrance. If the smell seems unpleasant, it is called foul smell. It is not that the wise do not know what is beautiful and what is ugly. They feel that more deeply. But it also shows that beauty and ugly are the two ends of shape. two ends of the same wave. That's why it doesn't suffer, doesn't waver, doesn't become unstable. It doesn't lose balance. But this has caused a big misconception, and the misconception is that the person who does not know the difference between hot and cold has become wise. It is very wise to say that it's very easy. That's a tough job, is what I am saying. In order not to know the difference between hot and cold, there is a need to practice a little bit of hot and cold. You will not be able to detect heat or cold. Your skin will become numb and your senses will be diminished out of it. So your sense of it will diminish. The few fibers of smell in the nose, in the nostrils, if you keep sitting near the bad smell, they will become habituated. So people also become paramahansa, means knowledgeable, sitting near the bad smell. The foolish ones even touch his feet, saying that it is a great paramahansa. The foul smell becomes undetectable for him. Which Bhangi can know that, like a smoker. Bhangi is a smoker. The nostrils are destroyed by that person. But this does not make that smoker knowledgeable. Khalil Gibran has written a small story. Let me tell it. Gibran has written that a woman from a village came to the city to sell fish. She told all the fish is from the pound. She sold all the fish. When in the evening she returned after selling the fish, her friend was in the city as well. She was a village girl as well. She asked her to stay tonight with her. She was a gardener's wife, a gardener herself. She had a beautiful garden. There were flowers everywhere. A guest has come to the house. So she was a poor gardener. She didn't have enough money, anything else to offer. So she brought big flowers, mogra, rose, juhi, jasmine, and placed them all around her. So as a gesture. She couldn't sleep at night, the fisher lady. She tossed and turned and could not sleep. The female gardener asked her if she couldn't sleep. Is there any problem? She said, it hurts. First remove these flowers and give me my basket in which I had brought fishes. Sprinkle some water in it. It becomes difficult if it is an unfamiliar house, unfamiliar smell. Fishes were part of the habit, but that does not make one knowledgeable. No one becomes knowledgeable if he does not know the difference between cold and heat. One does not become wise if one does not know happiness and sorrow. One should know completely about happiness and sorrow and still do not break the balance of happiness and sorrow. One should know completely about happiness and sorrow, but there should be a shadow of sorrow in happiness. There should be a shadow of happiness in sorrow also. When happiness and sorrow becomes visible transparently, then the person attains knowledge. So there is no existence of this world in an unreal form different from the true object. It cannot exist. And the unreal existence of Brahman, the knowledgeable, the form of existence cannot be absent. In this way, the philosophers have decided about truth and falsehood. So I will explain it. Recognizing the difference between what is true and what is false is knowledgeable and wisdom. The biggest achievement in life is to draw the line between what should be said and what should not be said. Understanding the difference between what is dream, what is reality is the path to liberation. Krishna has said in this verse that which is and is always and which has no way of not being, which has no possibility of not being, is the truth. That is the real, that which is there, but never was and can never happen again. That which has the possibility of not happening is unreal.